You know, I've always thought my little cabin up on Silver Oak Peak was my safe haven, far from the cookie-cutter world below, until that blizzard hit, and the HOA queen from Silver Oak Meadows decided it was hers for the taking. It was midnight, wind howling like a freight train, my old shepherd mix Max snoring by the fire, when this pounding shook the door like the world was ending. I peeked out, and there she was, Susan Hargrove, all bundled up, eyes like daggers, demanding I hand over my place for her stranded relatives, calling it a community crisis, as if my grandpa's hand-built retreat was some public Airbnb. I cracked the door, chain still on, and said, "Susan, you must be kidding. My land's not in your HOA, never has been, deeds crystal clear." But she leaned in, breath fogging the air, snapping, "This is about decency, Alex, not lines on a map. There's a kid with them, roads closing, you gonna let them freeze?" Max growled low, hackles up, and I could see her van idling down the drive, headlights piercing the snow like accusations. I shut her down flat. "No, find a hotel or the county shelter." And she stormed off, hurling, "You'll regret this, you selfish recluse," her words hanging colder than the storm. That night I couldn't shake it. This wasn't just entitlement. It was her power trip, born from years of lording over the valley folks, finding lawns and dictating paint colors, now eyeing my independent slice because it bugged her that I didn't bow. By dawn, the blizzard had buried everything, and sure enough, her retaliation kicked in. An email blast to the whole HOA list, painting me as this unstable hermit with a vicious dog, hoarding supplies while families suffered. I sipped my coffee, seething, thinking about how Grandpa taught me to stand firm, how he'd fought off land grabs in his day. And here I was, facing a modern bully with a clipboard instead of a gun. Then came the rumble. 3 SUVs snaking up my unplowed drive, Susan leading her compliance team, these yes-men neighbors she'd roped in with promises of favors. They piled out, her waving papers like a flag, announcing, "Official inspection for safety hazards, Alex. Open up or face fines." I stepped onto the porch in my boots, Max at my side, unfolding my plat map like a shield. "See this? Your jurisdiction ends way down there. You're trespassing." She flushed red, jabbing a finger. "This is bigger than you. It's community welfare." And one of her goons, this burly guy from the hardware store, muttered, "Just let us poke around 5 minutes," stepping forward like he owned the place. I held my ground, voice steady. "That's your second warning, third, and things get legal." And when a gust ripped her clipboard away, papers scattering like confetti, the big guy slipped chasing them, and I grabbed his arm, hauling him up. "You're welcome," I said dryly. "Now get off my steps." They backed off, Susan hissing, "This isn't over," as they slunk away. But I knew she was reloading, her ego bruised, her control slipping, all because my no exposed how fragile her little empire really was. That afternoon I fortified, strung tripwires with jangling cans across the drive, set up trail cams with night vision from my firefighting days, even dusted the porch with chalk to catch footprints. Max paced with me, sensing the tension. And when I found boot prints by the propane tank, a sneaky scout marking it for sabotage, it hit me. This was war, her way of punishing anyone who didn't play by her rules, maybe even jealousy over my solitude while she micromanaged the masses below. Night fell harder, power flickering, and over the CB, my buddy Nate from the next ridge crackled in. "Heads up, Alex. Susan's stirring the pot, calling you a threat." I thanked him, stoked the fire, but then flashing lights cut the whiteout. A sheriff's SUV creeping up. 2 deputies, Ramirez the veteran with his mustache and tired eyes, and young Ellis, all protocol. "Mr. Thompson," Ramirez said evenly. "Complaints of nuisances, threats, dangerous animal." I handed over my docs. "She's lying because I wouldn't rent her my home. Max is just protective, and I'm not in her HOA." They nodded, Ramirez sighing. "Looks civil to me." But as they left, I spotted a sedan lurking at the road's end, her spy watching, waiting. It fueled my resolve, Grandpa's voice in my head. Never let him push you off your dirt. So I scanned deeds, prepped evidence, rigged a bell alarm on the back path. Max, my loyal sentry, both of us braced for the next hit, and it came at 4 a.m. Bells jingling soft, then frantic. Max bolted up. I grabbed the tablet, feeds showing 2 hooded figures at the back window, one prying with a bar, the other on lookout. Heart pounding, I hit record, dialed 911, whispering, break-in in progress, describing them as they jimmied the frame. They froze at my voice, bolted into the woods, but the cam caught a face, Susan's nephew, that kid she dragged to every HOA meeting, and his cousin, the stranded one. Adrenaline surged. This wasn't random. It was her desperation, sending family to force entry, maybe to plant evidence or just scare me out. Her grip on power slipping into crime because my independence mocked her authority. But she doubled down, calling the sheriff again, this time spinning a tale of me having a breakdown, heat out, and, get this, a kid trapped inside, her nephew's boy at risk. Ramirez phoned, voice heavy. "I smell BS, Alex, but child endangerment? We got to check, and she's plowing the way." Fury boiled. She'd invented a phantom child to weaponize the law, her ultimate manipulation, born from years of unchecked HOA tyranny, resenting outsiders like me who exposed her as the fraud she was. I wouldn't just wait. I fired up a live stream from the window, narrating calm but pointed. "Folks, this is Alex Thompson. Here's the map proving I'm free and clear. Now watch Susan's scheme unfold." Viewer count climbed as Josh spread the link, and soon the plow growled up, deputies trailing, Susan's car last, all lights blazing. The siren wailed as they crossed my line, halting them cold. Max barked thunderous. I stepped out, arms crossed. Susan exploded from her car, robe flapping, rollers bouncing, screeching. "He's got the boy in there. Arrest him. It's my booking." Her nephew, bold or dumb, dashed past, yelling, "Gotta save my son," and jammed a bump key in my lock. Ellis spun, "Hands off," twisted his arm, cuffed him against the wall with a click that echoed like justice. Susan wailed, "Misunderstanding." But Ramirez fished the kid's phone, screen lighting up with texts. Group chat, Hargrove Peak Rentals, her admin, messages like, "Ridge cabin open, $500 for the Millers," instructions to Jimmy Locks, harass owners, her illegal blizzard racket, selling access to homes like mine, the emergency her cover for profit, the kid lie her pretext for invasion. Ramirez's face hardened, turning the phone, conspiracy, fraud, false reports, and cuffed her mid-denial, her empire crumbling live for hundreds watching, that glow sealing her fate. As they hauled her away, wailing fading into the wind, I stood there, Max leaning warm against me, the silence profound, thinking how close she'd come to stealing not just my home, but my peace. Her motives raw, a mix of greed and control freakery, twisted by community power gone unchecked. Weeks later, the HOA shattered, board quit, bylaws gutted. Even a public apology at the meeting I finally attended, nodding acceptance, my cabin blanketed fresh in snow, chili simmering, Max dreaming by the fire, Patriots game crackling on the radio. I held the line, smarter not stronger, but damn, it makes you wonder. If one HOA boss can go this far, how many more are out there, blurring lines between neighbor and nightmare? What do you think? Ever dealt with a power trip like this, or is community control worth the risk? Drop a comment, share your story. Let's talk about where justice really lies in these tight-knit worlds.